My wife would never have dreamed that her plan to stage a fake divorce, just to secure a green card for her white moonlight, would be turned into a reality by me. On the very day of my birthday, Lu Ruyan handed me a set of divorce papers as a gift. However, I didn't cause a scene, I simply signed them calmly. Seeing my cooperation, a smug smile played on her lips. This is just a fake divorce. Everything has been arranged. We will remarry soon. Not long after, I saw a new status posted by Yi Cheng, the man of her dreams. Thank you, Ruyan, for divorcing him. Because of you, my daughter and I finally have a place to belong. In the past, I might have lost my mind and called Lu Ruyan to confront her. But now, I only quietly pressed like on that post and submitted my application to return to my home country. When my manager received my application, he was somewhat surprised. Jiangchen, you worked so hard to move abroad before. Why do you want to go back now? I lowered my head and gave a bitter smile. My parents are back home. It's better that I return. Just then, Lu Ruyan pushed the door open and walked in. Hearing those words, she frowned. Who wants to go back to China? I didn't answer. I spoke with my manager for a few more moments and hung up. Turning around, I saw Lu Ruyan staring at me with her dark eyes. Who did you say wanted to go back just now? I answered dismissively, a colleague wants to apply for a transfer back. The corner of Lu Ruyan's mouth curled into a mocking smile. I thought you were the one who wanted to go back. But thinking about it, that makes sense. You worked so hard to be with me, how could you bear to leave? With that, she reached out to wrap her arms around my waist, whispering tenderly, Husband, once Yi Cheng gets his green card, let's have a baby. Lu Ruyan had always been like this, slapping me with one hand and coaxing me with the other. But this time, I no longer wanted to eat the candy she offered. I reached out, brushed her away, and said coldly, We'll worry about the future when it comes. Lu Ruyan froze, her tone softening. I'm actually not used to you not fighting with me this time. I thought you'd make a huge scene over this. Hearing her say that only felt ridiculous to me. A husband and wife fighting to the death over an outsider, how laughable. I replied flatly, after fighting so many times, I'm just tired. Lu Ruyan began to complain. Before, you were always fighting with me because of Yi Cheng. You never tried to understand me. Do you know how much it hurts me every time you argue with me? She was always like this, taking an inch and demanding a mile. If I conceded one step, she would push forward 99 more. Years ago, just because she said she wanted to go abroad, I left my parents behind to apply for a post in a foreign land. She said she didn't want children early, so I took the pressure from my family and claimed the fault was mine. But in the end, everything I did was worth less than a single word she spoke for someone else. I stood up and looked at her quietly. In the future, I won't fight with you anymore. Lu Ruyan beamed with pride. That's good. Yi Cheng and I are just friends. Don't be so irrationally jealous. If there were anything between us, would it even be your turn? I had heard that line too many times. Lu Ruyan nodded with satisfaction when she saw my silence. It's good that you understand. I replied nonchalantly, I should have understood a long time ago. I should have understood that in her heart, I wasn't worth even one of Yi Cheng's fingernails. Just then, a childish voice drifted in from outside the door. Mommy, come out and play house with me. Daddy is so silly. Lu Ruyan immediately stood up to respond, preparing to walk out. Before leaving, she turned back to look at me. I'm going out to play with Nian Nian for a bit. Nian Nian was Yi Cheng's daughter. From the day they moved in, the little girl had always called Lu Ruyan mommy. I had expressed my dissatisfaction before, but Lu Ruyan had simply pointed at me and scolded, Jiangchen, why don't you have any compassion? Nian Nian is just a motherless child. Do you know how pitiful she is? Before, every time I heard Nian Nian call her mommy, my heart would sting. But this time, I felt nothing at all. I reached up to touch my chest, a bright smile appearing on my lips. It turns out that when you decide not to love anymore, the heart forgets how to ache. The sound of lively laughter erupted outside. Nian Nian called for mommy every now and then, and Lu Ruyan responded tenderly. As I listened to those sounds, I mentally calculated my next steps. My phone rang. It was my mother calling. She asked with concern if I had eaten longevity noodles or cake today. Hearing her question, I realized I hadn't eaten anything yet. Before hanging up, my mother hesitated. "When are you coming home?" I had been abroad for 5 years, and the number of times I had returned home could be counted on one hand. Initially, it was because of work. Later, it was because Lu Ruyan said traveling back and forth was too much trouble. As I stepped out of the room, Nian Nian suddenly threw a toy at me, glaring. "Bad man. Why are you in my house? Are you trying to steal my mommy again?" Before I could say anything, Yi Cheng bowed slightly. "I'm sorry, Jiangchen. Nian Nian is just a child. Please don't take it personally." Lu Ruyan spoke up coldly from the side. "It's no big deal, there's no need to apologize. Besides, the reason Nian Nian treats him like that is probably because he scared her before, right?" She pulled Yi Cheng and his daughter behind her, looking at me with mockery. "Jiangchen, surely you aren't going to hold a grudge against a 5-year-old girl? If you are, I'd be embarrassed for you." I said nothing. It seemed every fault was destined to be pinned on my head. I replied indifferently, "Everyone, please continue. I just came out to get something." I opened the refrigerator, but what hit my eyes was that the cake I had made with my own hands was gone. Looking toward the living room, I saw it had been smashed and left abandoned on the table. Lu Ruyan noticed my gaze, her tone completely dismissive. "Was that cake yours?" Nian Nian said it didn't taste good, so I just left it there. "If you want to eat, I'll buy you another one." I said nothing. I simply picked up the ruined cake and threw it into the trash can, my tone casual. "No need." With that, I turned and left the house. I hadn't gone more than a few steps before Lu Ruyan rushed after me, grabbing my arm. "Jiangchen, where are you going?" I looked at her with suspicion. This was the first time she had ever abandoned Yi Cheng to run after me. "Why are you following me?" Hearing my question, she was momentarily stunned, her expression awkward. "I saw you leave without saying anything, so I just wanted to ask." "I'm going out to find something to eat." At that moment, Yi Cheng walked over leading Nian Nian, his tone polite. "Jiangchen, Nian Nian just said she wants hot pot. If you don't mind, come with us. Consider it my treat to make up for earlier." I was about to refuse, but Lu Ruyan quickly agreed and even told me to go get the car. Since I had already decided to leave, I didn't want to argue further and silently went to the garage. When I drove up, she naturally sat in the back seat with Yi Cheng and his daughter. Once the engine started, Lu Ruyan seemed to realize the problem and explained guiltily, "Nian Nian is still small, she likes to cling to me." I glanced at the rearview mirror. The scene in the back looked like a perfectly harmonious family of 3. I cut her off coldly. "It's fine for everyone to sit together like that. Besides, the passenger seat isn't safe anyway." Those words caused Lu Ruyan's expression to shift instantly. After all, she was the one who had once snapped at me when I tried to claim that spot. What is there to fight over? A passenger seat isn't safe anyway. Throughout the entire drive, I was treated like a complete stranger. When we arrived, they headed inside first. By the time I finished parking and walked in, there were only 3 sets of utensils on the table. Lu Ruyan looked slightly flustered and started to call for a waiter, but Nian Nian suddenly burst into tears. "I don't want to eat with the bad man. Daddy said he wants to steal my mommy." Yi Cheng immediately covered the girl's mouth, looking apologetic. "Jiangchen, children speak without thinking. Please don't take it to heart." Lu Ruyan pulled Nian Nian into her arms to comfort her, but the look she gave me was full of reproach. I let out a soft laugh, my voice light as air. "Little one, your mother will always be your mother. I'm not going to take her." The color drained from Lu Ruyan's face. Before she could utter a word, I turned my back, walked to an empty table in the corner, and ate my hot pot alone. The sound of laughter from the next table drifted over constantly, but it didn't affect my appetite in the least. On the way home, I received a call from her. "Jiangchen, where are you? We're finished eating. Come to the parking lot and wait." Hearing that entitled tone, I truly couldn't understand what I was in her eyes. After being treated like that, did she really think I would just drive them back? I'm already home. What do you mean by that? We went out together. Why did you just leave on your own? Weren't you all planning to see a movie? Lu Ruyan choked on her words. Before leaving the restaurant, I had seen Yi Cheng's post. Nian Nian always dreamed of going to the movies with her mom and dad. Today, her wish finally came true, accompanied by a photo of the three of them. After a few seconds of silence, Lu Ruyan's voice turned thick. We could have all gone together. Haven't you ever wanted to see a movie with me? No need. Enjoy the show. I hung up. Upon arriving home, I received a notification. My application to return to my home country had been approved. This was perhaps the first piece of good news I had received in days. When Lu Ruyan finally returned, I was busy processing handover documents. She was still fuming, heading straight for the shower without a word. By the time she came out, I was lying in bed with my eyes closed. I could feel her burning gaze fixed intently on me. Suddenly, my phone rang. Jiangchen, today is your birthday, isn't it? The company has a small gift. I'm bringing it over to you now. The manager's booming voice caused Lu Ruyan's face to darken. I hung up, went out to receive the gift, and returned to the room. Lu Ruyan was opening the refrigerator searching for something. Seeing me enter, she said uneasily, "We're out of noodles." I let out a yawn, cutting her off nonchalantly. No need. I'm full. I forgot today was your birthday. I'm sorry. It's fine. It's just a birthday. It doesn't matter if I have one or not. I turned off the light and went to sleep. Over the following days, I was so busy preparing for my departure that I paid little mind to her presence. I thought life would remain this quiet until the day I left, but while clearing out the bookshelf, I accidentally found an ultrasound report. Name, Lu Ruyan. Date, 2 months ago. I froze. Searching further, I found an abortion consent form at the very bottom of the drawer. A 10-week-old fetus with a heartbeat. Her signature was at the bottom. In that moment, my heart turned completely cold. I had felt a flicker of hesitation over the past few days, but now, I knew I was truly done. I took those 2 papers along with the divorce decree and walked into the living room. Lu Ruyan and Yi Cheng were watching a movie together. Before she could even ask why I was there, I threw the abortion papers at her. Lu Ruyan's face went deathly pale. She stammered in a panic, "Jiangchen. Husband, let me explain. It's because Nian Nian is still so small, I couldn't be that heartless." I let out a mocking laugh. You were heartless enough to kill your own child for someone else's daughter. Lu Ruyan, you really are something else. Her face grew paler by the second, her lips trembling, unable to form a word. I looked at her coldly, thrusting the divorce papers toward her. Let's get a divorce. I've already signed. There's no need to pretend anymore. I'm stepping aside for the 2 of you. My words made her eyes snap wide, her voice shaking. Jiangchen, do you really want to divorce me? I held the paper up, the bold black ink confirming my intent. Suddenly, Lu Ruyan snatched the document and tore it to shreds right in front of me, screaming, I'm not divorcing you. Even if the baby is gone, we can have another one later. Husband, we are not getting a divorce. Unexpectedly, Yi Cheng dropped to his knees before me, his face full of remorse. Jiangchen, I'm sorry. This is all my fault. Ruyan got rid of the baby because of Nian Nian. If you want to blame someone, blame me. I grabbed Yi Cheng by the collar, hauled him up, and threw a heavy punch straight into his face. He clutched his face, his eyes full of resentment, yet he didn't dare fight back. Did you think I was the same man as before? That I would never lay a hand on you? Perhaps because my gaze was so frigid, Yi Cheng trembled and lowered his head for the first time. Lu Ruyan instinctively stepped in front of him to shield him, her voice filled with indignation. Don't drag others into what's between us. The abortion was my decision. Don't blame him. I just didn't want Nian Nian to feel insecure again just because I was pregnant. Her noble words made me want to laugh. I couldn't hold back, demanding coldly, Lu Ruyan, the child you got rid of was a life. It was our child. A flicker of guilt crossed her face, but she quickly regained her composure. That baby wasn't even born yet, it wasn't even a person. What did it know? But Nian Nian is a child of flesh and blood right here. I couldn't be that selfish. Why can't you understand me? Her words made me realize, perhaps that unborn child was the lucky one. To be born into a family without love, that is the true tragedy. The rage in my heart slowly extinguished. I looked at the scraps of paper on the floor and then looked up. I will print another copy and send it to you later. Lu Ruyan desperately grabbed my hand, pleading, we can have another child. Yi Cheng will move out, and we'll have a baby of our own, okay? Before I could answer, a violent force shoved me to the ground. Immediately following was Nian Nian's high-pitched, angry voice, bad man. You want to steal my mommy again. Get out of my house. As soon as she finished, the girl threw a glass cup directly at me. It shattered against my forehead, and warm blood immediately began to trickle down. Yi Cheng frantically scooped Nian Nian up, not to scold her, but to protect her from me. Zhongchen, I'm sorry. Nian Nian only did that because she was so angry. She's just a child, please don't hold it against her. I'll pay the medical bills. Lu Ruyan chimed in as well. Zhongchen, don't you dare hurt Nian Nian. She's little, don't ruin her future over this. Seeing the three of them standing together as a united front, I felt a void in my soul. I laughed softly as I stumbled to my feet. The look I gave Lu Ruyan held no warmth, only a profound, hollow disappointment. Only then did Lu Ruyan seem to wake up. She let go of Nian Nian and rushed toward me. Husband, are you okay? Let me bandage that for you. I pushed her away and spoke coldly. Lu Ruyan, no matter what, I am divorcing you. All of you, pack your things and get out of this house immediately. After finishing my sentence, I covered my wound and turned to head for the door. Behind me, Nian Nian wasn't finished. She brandished a small knife, her voice shrill with rage. Bad man. You want to kick us out? You should just die. The girl lunged at me, intending to stab me. I coldly pushed her back, causing her to fall to the floor. Lu Ruyan immediately shrieked, Zhongchen, are you insane? How dare you lay a hand on a child? Nian Nian is small, she doesn't know any better. Ignoring my injury, I silently forced them all out of the house. Because they had to take Nian Nian for a checkup, Lu Ruyan and Yi Cheng didn't have time to argue further and hurriedly left. I sat alone in the hollow house for a long while before finally heading to the hospital. Just as I stepped out of the gate after being bandaged, I ran into them again. Yi Cheng spoke first. Ruyan, you should talk things through with Zhongchen. I'll pack my things and move out tomorrow. I can take care of Nian Nian myself, I shouldn't let this affect the two of you. At that moment, Nian Nian, who had been sleeping, suddenly opened her eyes and began to wail, repeatedly calling for mommy. Lu Ruyan froze, then turned to me with an uneasy look. Zhongchen, go home first. I'll come back tomorrow to talk. I won't agree to a divorce, the fake divorce isn't necessary anymore anyway. With that, she took Nian Nian from Yi Cheng's arms and began to soothe her tenderly. As they walked away, Yi Cheng deliberately looked back at me with a gaze full of provocation. The next morning, I was cleaning up when Lu Ruyan walked in. Seeing that half the house was already packed, she frowned. Why is the house so empty? I went straight to the point. When are you packing your things? Zhongchen, you saw Nian Nian's condition yesterday. Getting the abortion was a desperate necessity. Can't you show some sympathy? I couldn't be so selfish as to hurt a child. I nodded nonchalantly. I understand. Lu Ruyan looked stunned, her expression seeming to soften. But I continued immediately, that's exactly why divorce is the best option. Yi Cheng can openly get his green card, and Nian Nian won't have to be away from her mother. After all, a child can't be without a mother. I only wanted a fake divorce from you. Why are you? But I've decided on a real one. Lu Ruyan, there's a camera in the living room. If you don't want any accidents involving Nian Nian's behavior yesterday, then sign the papers. She was speechless, never expecting me to use the girl to threaten her. Her lips parted, but no words came out, Eventually, she made an excuse and hurried away. For several days after, Lu Ruyan avoided me. I spent my time putting the apartment up for sale. To my surprise, the moment the listing went live, she returned, staring at the neatly stacked suitcases in disbelief. "Jongchun, why did you pack my things? We are getting divorced. Your things can't stay in my house. The items you didn't like, I've already thrown away." Lu Ruyan shook her head stubbornly. "I won't divorce. I was wrong about the baby, but I just wanted to help someone. You've always been the one who understands me best." I gave a thin smile. "I do understand. I understand you want to help people, so since Nian Nian loves you so much, why don't you just become her mother for real?" "No. I won't be Nian Nian's mother." "You say you don't want to be her mother, yet you let her call you that for years. You say you don't love Yi Chang, yet time and time again you hurt me for his sake. Lu Ruyan, don't you feel even a shred of guilt?" Just as she was about to speak, the doorbell rang. I thought it was the real estate agent, but when I opened the door, Yi Chang and Nian Nian were already standing there. The moment she saw me, Nian Nian glared with pure hatred before throwing herself into Lu Ruyan's arms. "Mommy. Nian Nian missed you so much." Yi Chang spoke with a hint of feigned awkwardness. "Sorry to bother you both. Nian Nian has a doll she has to sleep with every day. I just came to get it and pack a few more things." As he spoke, he maintained a subtle, knowing smile, as if certain I would never kick him out. In the past, whenever there was conflict, I was always the one to back down. But not this time. I smirked, pointing toward the pile of luggage in the corner. "Your things are all there. Just take them and go." The smile on Yi Cheng's face stiffened. Before he could find the words, I added, "While you're at it, take Lu Ruyan's luggage too. Wouldn't it be more convenient to all live under one roof?" Yi Cheng's expression became incredibly complex, settling into a deep, unreadable look. Conversely, Nian Nian was overjoyed, pulling Lu Ruyan's hand and begging her to come along. But Yi Chang held the girl back, whispering, "Sister Ruyan lives here, let's head home first." Nian Nian immediately burst into loud tears, but Yi Chang didn't let her cause further trouble. He quietly scooped her up and dragged the luggage away. I had known for a long time that he didn't love Lu Ruyan. He just wanted a free place to stay, a place where he could be a parasite. After Yi Chang left, Lu Ruyan stood dazed for a long time. She slowly reached out a hand to pull me toward her, her voice strained. "Husband. I've sent them away. Can we just live a good life together from now on?" Her eyes were filled with desperate expectation. I laughed, personally carrying her luggage outside and placing it right by the door. Realizing that I truly had no intention of keeping her, her gaze turned dark, and she left in total dejection. The next day, I immediately contacted the agency to sell the house. That same evening, I packed my bags and boarded a flight back to my home country. Standing at the front door, my mother was so moved she began to choke up. "My son, why have you come home so suddenly?" My father, usually a serious man, had eyes that were now rimmed with red. My mother hurriedly pulled me inside, rushing to prepare a bowl of my favorite braised beef noodles. "Eat quickly, you must be starving." I finished every bit, not even leaving the broth. My father asked in a low voice, "Why did you bring so much luggage back this time?" I couldn't get used to the food over there, so I applied to come home for good. My mother paused, still finding it hard to believe. "You mean, you aren't going back?" I wrapped my arms around her shoulders and gave a heavy nod. "That's right. I'm staying home with you." "Who needs you staying home with me?" she muttered, but her smile grew brighter by the second. My father asked directly, "What about Lu Ruyan? Is she over there all by herself?" I spoke the simple truth, she and I have divorced. My mother went silent for a long moment, finally letting out a soft sigh. "As long as you are happy, that is all that matters." Back in my hometown, I took my parents traveling everywhere. In contrast to my peace, Lu Ruyan was frantic abroad when she discovered the house had been sold. She rushed to the company in a panic, where the manager replied nonchalantly, he applied to return home on his birthday. Lu Ruyan immediately bought a plane ticket back. But when she landed at the airport, she suddenly realized, She had absolutely no idea where my parents lived. Scouring her contacts, she realized she didn't have a single friend's number or my parents' phone number. In that moment, she realized she had never truly understood me. Ultimately, she checked into a hotel near my company and called repeatedly until I finally picked up. "What is it? Why did you sell the house? What about me?" I couldn't help but laugh. That house was bought with my hard-earned money from years of overtime. I've handed the divorce over to a lawyer. If you have any issues, contact him directly. The next day, the police escorted her to my house. My parents proactively stepped outside to let us talk. "What are you doing here? Jongchin, you're truly heartless. You sold the house and left without saying a single word. Lu Ruyan, weren't you the one who always wanted a divorce? I'm simply fulfilling your wish." I never wanted a divorce. The person I love has always been you. I curled my lip in mockery. "Is that so? Is your way of loving me by hurting me over and over again? If that is what your love looks like, I don't want it." She went quiet for a while before slowly speaking. "I only wanted to help Yi-chung. He and I aren't in love. It was just an obsession from my youth, a bit of lingering resentment." This was the first time she had ever explained herself, but I no longer cared. I simply sighed. "If there's nothing else, please leave. It's hot outside. If my parents stay out too long, they'll get heatstroke." Lu Ruyan refused to give up. She rented an apartment near my home and brought home-cooked meals to my doorstep every single day. Finally, one day, I stood there waiting for her. The moment she saw me, her face lit up with joy as she held out a lunchbox. "Husband, I made braised ribs and cream puffs today. Please, give them a try." I took the lunchbox from her. The radiant smile on her face had barely formed before it instantly froze. I carried the container straight to the trash can and threw it inside with force. Thud. Her face turned deathly pale, and her eyes grew red and rimmed with tears. Why would you do that? You are interfering with my life. I just want to be good to you. I don't want a divorce. Don't waste any more time. There is no longer any possibility for us. I've had quite enough of living with your version of love. She stared at me for a long time, and finally, she slowly turned and walked away. A month later, I received a notification that my old house abroad had finally found a buyer. Seeing the name Lu Ruyan on the electronic contract, I didn't ask a single question. I simply signed the document and accepted the payment. My life continued in peace until another month passed, when a former colleague from overseas called me. Your old house. It burned down. The person who started the fire was a child. It was Nian Nian, as expected. Because Lu Ruyan had treated them coldly and refused to let Yi-chung and his daughter into the house, Nian Nian believed she had changed and needed to be taught a lesson. The girl had lit a fire and thrown it into the yard. Unluckily, the winds were high that day, and the flames spread with terrifying speed. By the time Lu Ruyan discovered the fire, the exit was already blocked. In the end, she perished in the sea of flames within the very house where she had once claimed she wanted to spend the rest of her life with me.